Greetings and salutations, loyal viewers of this channel. My name is Sean, and today we're going to talk about an incident that went down in the city of Santa Monica. It happened at the beach, and the reason we're going to talk about this is because reportedly, theoretically, metaphorically, and quite literally, a ninja is described as the perpetrator in this attack. Yes, California has gotten so lawless that the law of the ninja, the nindo, my way of the ninja, has completely taken over, and that's what I want to talk about today. But before we get into that, I just want to say thank you so much for supporting this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay.
Another violent random attack in a beach community. This time, a man clearing trash from the beach in Santa Monica is knocked unconscious by a man dressed like a ninja, wielding a large bat.
So look, I gotta be perfectly honest with all of you out there in the audience. The hook of this story is the fact that the attacker in this particular instance was a man dressed like a ninja. He was in ninja garb. He was ready to be fighting as a ninja, and I think it is incumbent on all of us to determine what village this ninja came from. Now, of course, this happened on the beach, so there was in fact sand involved, so that might make a lot of you out there in the audience think that this ninja was from the sand village, but I do believe that there is a chance that he was from the mist village and or the land of waves. We can all speculate on this, but also it's quite sad that this individual who goes out and cleans up the beach under his own volition ended up being targeted in this way, and it just goes to show you how crazy and lawless California is, because this attack happened essentially in broad daylight. I believe it was actually approaching the evening, but still it was on a public beach, and there is not yet a suspect caught. Now, that being said, kind of makes sense because ninjas move in very mysterious ways, and I don't think your average police officer is capable of chasing down a real-life, genuine ninja.
These things are a disaster for our environment.
Venice resident Josie Peters could be called the guru of garbage. The LA Times has done profile pieces on him. He's been collecting refuse and debris from the beach for nearly 2 decades.
So look, this is California. It's Santa Monica. It's close enough to the approximate to the Los Angeles area. So the fact that the victim in this particular instance is a weird guy should be no surprise to anybody out there in the audience. On top of that, this ninja garb is described later, and it is quite weird to me that this guy appears to be wearing very similar clothing to that person. That being said, if you're going to be weird in the Los Angeles area, if you're going to be weird in Santa Monica, I think one of the better ways to be weird is that you actually pick up the trash, you actually try to solve problems in your community. So the fact that this individual was attacked for seemingly no reason is actually quite sad when you think about it, because again, the effect that this could have is to deter this person from going to pick up the trash, the refuse that is constantly left on these beaches, which again would make this particular area much more ugly and dirty and filthy. So I gotta give this guy some respect, even though his weirdo art installation things are in fact weirdo art installation things.
But a stranger recently crushed Josie's bones like Josie is crushing this plastic bottle.
So look, I say this a lot on this channel. I appreciate the local news. I think that they highlight stories that the national media doesn't draw attention to, and with the death of newspapers in all these different various communities, it gives us a good peek at what's going on the local level for stories that I might want to cover that are not already elevated to the national level. That being said, the guy collects garbage. He does it on the beach. He ends up making weirdo art with it, and he was viciously attacked from behind by an unknown attacker, a ninja, possibly somebody who looked like this, and he was significantly injured from this attack. He suffered multiple broken bones, but what you just saw right there was a local media news crew team decide that this segment needs a little bit more flavor, it needs a little bit more texture, maybe the ninja hook not good enough in this particular instance, so they decided that they were going to have this guy crumple a plastic bottle in front of them and say that his bones were breaking like said plastic bottle. Now, I'm not saying anything, but I am in fact saying something about this, and it's ridiculous. This is an absurd demonstration right here, and honestly, the idea that you would trot out the victim in such a way so that you could say, wow, your bones were broken, kind of like the trash that you picked up gets crumpled. Like, can you crumple the trash for us? I know you're in severe pain and you were prescribed a ton of opioids opioids just to cope with the pain, just so that you could fall asleep. But we would really appreciate, since we came out here to cover your story, if you decided to make a mockery of your situation by crumpling the plastic bottle in front of our camera, because people in our audience, we believe them to be absolute idiots, and the idea of telling them broken bones is just not good enough. I'm assuming that's what happened behind the camera, and honestly, it's just an absurdity on top of an absurd story.
He could have killed me. His first strike was on my temple, on the side of my head, and it knocked me unconscious, dude. So he could have easily killed me doing that.
I mean, again, this is a really serious story. This guy struck him from behind. He hit him with some kind of bat or rod or whatever in the temple, knocked him out immediately, and then continued to assault him. He could have easily killed him. He was 100% at this person's mercy. And based on the way that this guy's dressing, it doesn't appear like robbery was the motivation right here. Again, California has to be a really shady, dark place for somebody to come up to another person on a public beach, swing a bat or a rod or a pole of some kind at somebody's temple, knock them out unconscious while they're picking up the trash in California, while they're doing a public service that, by the way, they're not getting paid for.
Josie says he was doing what he does, bagging garbage near Lifeguard Tower 25 in Santa Monica around 6:30 Saturday evening.
So I said earlier in this video that this was early evening. It was possibly still light out, and we just got the time right there, 6:30 p.m., which means the sun wasn't due to set for about an hour to an hour and a half. So basically in broad daylight at a busy time, this guy was attacked on a Saturday.
He noticed a young man in his 20s wearing all black, almost like a ninja, walk up beside him.
Now look, I don't mean to distract you from this main story, because right here they talked about a 20-year-old man who was dressed like a ninja. Who knows what his age was, honestly, because if he was a true ninja, he might have been using the transformation jutsu in order to hide his appearance. But this person dressed in all black, again at 6:30 in the evening, was able to attack this person. That being said, even though that was being reported to us right there in that moment, we saw B-roll, and included in that B-roll is this attractive woman rollerblading backwards. And I'm only saying this because this show is available in podcasting form, and I know that the podcast listeners want the full texture of this situation for them so that they can understand what's going on. And yes, my microphone is swinging out of control and I gotta keep grabbing it because it's floating away from me. I will cut to a clip and maybe it will be fixed the next time we get back. And yes, I bumped it again.
Almost like a ninja, walk up beside him.
He did have what looked like a big nose piercing, kind of poking through his face mask. He looked unusual, but there's a lot of unusual people around here. It doesn't bother me.
So I gotta give credit to this guy right here because he describes the guy dressed like a ninja wearing all black, but he also had a nose piercing at the same time. And honestly, I'm not sure which hidden village this ninja would descend from, but what I am kind of certain of, or at least I want to bring up as a possibility, is the fact that the male nose ring is becoming ever more popular among the black population in places in the United States of America. Don't think I didn't notice this trend. Don't think I didn't notice this new thing, but we're not at the point right now in this very moment where white kids are also wearing the nose ring. Thank God. This is a trend that should die absolutely immediately, but I'm not saying anything. Maybe this should grant some level of description to the police so that they can figure out who is actually behind this. Now, of course, the attack was vicious. We already talked about this, but I do like the fact that this guy says, look, I'm in California. This is like the Los Angeles area. There's a bunch of weirdos dressed like weirdos all the time. I mean, when you think about it, I was collecting trash in order to make art in my backyard. So, like, I can't really be judging anybody based on their weird appearances.
And so I kept walking, and all of a sudden, I was unconscious. I was on the ground. This guy hit me on the side of the head with a staff, a martial arts type staff.
So right now we have another change in the description of the object that was used to strike him, and apparently this object was now a martial arts staff, also known as a kendo staff, so maybe, just maybe, they should check the local dojo in the area, or maybe Goku was actually behind this, and this was the power pole. I'm not saying anything, but it seems like all the pieces are coming together, everything is adding up, that some kind of anime villain, or at least a black anime fan, was behind this particular attack.
A stranger in black walloped him repeatedly before walking away from the scene of the beating.
Well, this guy wasn't ranting, he wasn't raving. driving. He wasn't out of his mind.
So I'm a little bit confused about this story, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm a little bit, but my brain isn't really working, because he says the first strike knocked him out cold, but then he says that this guy wasn't ranting and raving while he was attacking him. And of course, he continued to beat him after he was already on the ground in what is a vicious, savage, unprovoked attack. That being said, there could be additional witnesses. Maybe attractive girl rollerblading backwards ended up seeing what was going on as she backed away from the scene, but who knows as of right now. It just seems like there's a little bit of holes in this story, but I can't really ding this guy too much because he was already a bit weird in that he collected garbage for art. And he did get hit in the head. He was hit in the head. He may have been concussed.
Among the injuries, broken and bruised ribs, a broken collarbone, contusions on the left side of his face, and a concussion. Santa Monica police and fire responded to the emergency call. Josie Peters is just one of the latest victims of violence in the beach communities of Santa Monica and Venice.
So look, obviously part of the reason that I cover this story, part of the reason that I presented this to you is because of the fact that it's so odd in its presentation. Again, a guy dressed like a ninja attacking a random garbage art man randomly on a beach at Saturday night, not even when the sun is down, seems to be a particularly odd instance. But unfortunately, like many of things that seem odd or like one-offs in the state of California, in the Los Angeles area, this doesn't appear to be a one-off instance. We actually see increases in attacks on people at random at the beach. And by the way, the citizens actually have a solution for it. And call me crazy, because maybe 4 years ago when the defund the police movement was at its peak, this was something that I said would be a disaster. And maybe, just maybe, the answer would be to hire more police instead of firing the police. But let's see what the residents say.
Concerned citizens and business owners are pushing for hiring more police officers and increasing patrols. In the meantime, the guru of garbage will follow his passion.
Yeah, that's right. The citizens of Santa Monica, the citizens of this area, have had enough with this pull back the cops, let's not enforce anything on anyone. They want more police there and more patrols. But unfortunately, when you have a district attorney like Gascon who doesn't prosecute anyone for anything, that is not actually going to result in good results. When you have that state law that says that certain, even violent felonies, are technically non-violent felonies under the definition of the law, therefore these people can't go to prison, they can only go to county jail, and then the county jail is full, so they get released. That leads to repeat offenders being able to victimize people over and over again, and this has a chilling effect. These beach towns rely, or beach areas rely on people going to the beach, having a good time, feeling safe and secure, and patronizing the businesses. So random attacks like this on people for no reason scare a certain percentage of the population away, and that leaves all these different various businesses vulnerable because they're losing customers, not to mention the crime up in their area could lead their insurance to go up, and that ends up creating an impoverished area where otherwise it should be thriving. Again, we talk a lot on this channel about the natural advantages that California has, and this area from a weather standpoint is absolutely beautiful. It should be pristine. It should be a place that everybody could enjoy. It should be a paradise, but unfortunately it's not that way because politicians in this particular area and the people who vote them into power have gone soft on crime, and they're essentially undoing all the natural advantages that they should have that were guaranteed to them by nature. But you know what? Those are just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you like the video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on the social media, support review the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about a ninja attack in Los Angeles, or in Santa Monica. Till next time.